So the car here has this wooden passenger section. We've drawn the profile for it, and we're going to now extrude it. So I'm just going to quickly go back into this sketch. I'll remind you that one of the last things I did is I named it main body profile, and I named this part you can see down here. I named it main body. I named my sketch main body profile. I encourage you to always name things. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is I got to basically measure with my calipers how far back it goes. Remember, we're measuring in millimeters, and you want to always make sure that you zero your stuff before you make a measurement. So I'm getting about 81. We're going to go with that. So I have my body here. I can now do the extrude, and I can extrude it 81. And that's basically my body. We're good? Yeah. At this point, I don't know that I really need these planes to show up anymore. Because everything I do, I don't know. We can leave them for now, I guess. But we're probably not going to use them too much. So we should have an actual block. And now what we need to do is we need to extrude the holes. We have a hole on the top. Yeah. We got a hole on the top. Yeah. And we got a hole on the front and a hole on the back. Which one do you want to do first? Top, front, or back?
Top.
Top. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll sketch on the top of the shape. So we'll click on sketch, and then we'll click on the actual top of the shape. I guess this is one use, well, a good use of the plane here. I'm going to do another center point rectangle. And I'm going to line it up. Notice the dashed orange line. I'm going to line it up with the center of the origin, because I hope you can appreciate that this hole is probably centered, right? Mm-hmm. Or at least it should be. Now this is wood. May not have been manufactured perfectly, but we're going to assume that it should be centered. So we're going to center this. So I got a hole. There it is. And I'm going to dimension it. Now this is a hole. And so to dimension it, we will be using the teeth at the top. Understand? Yes or yeah? Mm-hmm. The teeth at the top. So you'll actually fit these inside and measure the width or length or whatever. So I got like a width of maybe 50.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
Somewhere around 50. And then I'm getting kind of going the other direction. Something like maybe 40. Somewhere around there. So I'm going to dimension it to be 50 and 40. That's not what I want. We'll go with 40. Something like that. Now, I still need to lock this in place. I already did align it with the origin. So you'll notice I cannot drag this. I'm trying to. Watch my mouse move. I cannot drag this left or right. I can still move it up or down though. So we got to specify how far it is. And this is where you got to really make sure that you're paying attention. Okay? When you measure, are you measuring how far it is from the front or the back? Make sure you know. I don't care which one you do. It doesn't matter. But you got to be consistent. Because you're looking at them, I hope you appreciate the distance to the front is not the same as the distance to the back. It might be close, but it's not the same. And so you can use the bottom teeth on the caliper to measure that. All right. I'm getting about 19 and a half, somewhere around there. Measure it one more time. Yeah, I'm going to go with 19. And that was to the front. Okay? That was to the front for me. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on dimension. And remember, if I want to dimension the distance between two things, I click on one thing, then I click on the second thing, and then I can place my dimension. 19. That's what I had. Questions thus far? One thing that I want to point out. Let's say I try to over-dimension this. So watch what I do up here. I'm going to click on dimension, and I'm going to try and dimension how far it is to the back. Now, notice what color is that dimension?
Gray.
It's gray as opposed to black. Why is it gray? Because I can't actually set that number. Watch, I'll try. I'll try to click on it. I can't. I'm double click on it. I can't set it. It's a forced dimension. If this shape is 40 in this direction and it's 19 from the edge, then this distance is already locked. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? I can't make that number whatever I want it to be because it doesn't have a logical contradiction. I'd have three numbers that don't add up to the overall length. So you can dimension things just to see what they are, always, but you can't always edit the dimension if it's like now a driven or forced dimension. So I got that. The last thing I need to do is I got to do my holes. Corners are rounded as well, so I got to measure those. This is going to be very ballparky. Okay, you're going to have to kind of estimate, just do your best. I'm getting somewhere around 5 or 6. I'm going to go with 6. Somewhere around 5 or 6. Doesn't really matter exactly what. So I'm going to go, remember to do a fillet in the sketch. You click on the corner, 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 corner. Once you've marked all 4 corners, you click the left mouse button off an empty space. And then you can type whatever number you want. I'm going to put 6. Might be more like 5.5, but who cares? Not going to make a big deal about it. And that's that. I got my hole drawn. Questions before we move on? Okay, so now I'm going to click the green check mark. And I'm going to extrude this hole. So I'm going to click on extrude. I'm going to click on this. I don't know who that man is, but he sounds sexy. I like that guy. What a legend. Oh, look at that. Man, the feedback is getting crazy. This is the part where you turn it off. See, do what that man said. You're going to click on remove because we're obviously drilling a hole. And the hole, that thingy thing on the end, that's this. That's what this is for. It measures depth. So you need to go all the way to the bottom of the wood. Don't go to the plastic. All the way to the bottom of the wood. So for me, there's a part on this square hole. It's very, very close to the edge, so I can just put my thing in there. And then you go down, you push the top of the calipers until the caliper kind of rests on the lip of the wood. And I'm getting about 29. Here, I'll go measure it again. What did I get this time? Yeah, I'm going to go with 29 as my depth. So my extrude distance is then 29. And so I got my top hole done. There it is, boys. There it is. Sound good? Maybe, possibly.
What are the angles of the hole, like on the corners?
5.
I did 5 or 6. I think I did 6, but 5 or 6 millimeters is fine. Fine radius, somewhere around there. Okay. So now I need to do the front and the back. Now, what we're going to do here, we're not going to overcomplicate this too much. We're going to assume that this plastic and the wood are combined. Because these plastic parts we can't take out at all. So we're not going to like dimension them separately. Okay? we're just gonna like kind of treat this plastic here and this plastic here as part of the wood. Sound good? So the first thing I need to do is basically create a hole, and then I need to then create either a rectangle, the part that says Automoblox, or the dual shapes. So like mine are like circles. One of them's like diamonds, one's triangles, one's squares, one's ovals. Okay, we'll raise those. So I'm gonna do the front first because my front has just a rectangle thing. It says Automoblox. So I'm gonna do that first. So I gotta cut the hole first, though. That's what I gotta do first. I gotta cut the hole. Now, I want you to use your big boy brains here. I could measure, using my calipers, the size of that hole. What else could I measure, though? What else could I measure that would tell me the size of that hole? Or very, very, very close to it. I can measure the size of the hole directly, or I can estimate the size of the hole by measuring what else?
This. I forgot what it's called. Like the length of the hole.
What could I measure that might tell me how big the hole is without actually measuring the hole?
I don't know.
What do you think?
I'm not in this class.
What do you think? What else can I measure, boys? Don't overthink this.
China's gonna win.
What else can I measure? That's okay. Hashtag best and brightest right here, boys. What else can I measure? Well, don't all say it at once now.
Yeah.
See, I can tell some of you know, but you just don't want to say anything. You're just waiting for other people to say it. It's kind of like an inside joke. Either you get it or you don't. And clearly some of you don't get it. You can measure the thing that goes to the hole. I know, shocking. I know. A radical idea. Now, that's not perfect. In the real world, sometimes holes are larger than the things that go in them. That clearance helps them actually work. If you made holes the exact size of the things that are supposed to go in them, in the real world, friction and other situations would probably a lot of times make that not work out. But for our purposes, it's pretty good. And also, it's a fairly tight fit. Put this piece in there. I'll call it the connector. It's a pretty tight fit, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're actually going to measure the width of the connector. And we're going to assume the hole is that width. Sound good? Yes, say yeah? Yeah. So let's do that. I'm going to measure the width of this thing, the width of this bad boy. I'm getting around 58. Around 58. But, you know, you do you. And as a little spoiler alert, if I try to measure the width of this hole, oh, shocking, it's also 58. I know, who could believe that? So I'm going to do on the front here, notice I clicked on front, I'm going to draw another rectangle. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that this hole is centered? What do you guys think? So, you can test this if you just measure how much wood there is at the top and how much wood there is at the bottom. It should be pretty close to the same. Yes, yeah. We agree or disagree? I don't know, you tell me. Y'all have different cars, so I don't know. You tell me. Does it seem like there's the same amount of wood at the top as there at the bottom? What are we thinking, boys?
Yeah.
Yeah? So that means it is centered, yes? Yeah?
Yeah.
So what we can do is we can do a sketch here. And we can do another center point rectangle. on that origin. And I got a width of, I think I said 58, right? So there's my width. And then the height, same gig. Then you go measure the height of that connector piece. Looks like I'm getting about 20. You know, go up about 20. So height of about 20. And then I got curves. I got a ballpark. And I'm thinking somewhere around 3. I'm just going to do 3. It's pretty close to 3. So I got our sketch fillet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Click off in space. We'll call that 3. We good? Yeah? Hey? And then to measure the depth of the hole, you use this part of the caliper. The part that sticks out on the end. I'm getting somewhere around 11. Yeah, we'll go with 11. So I can cut into that 11. Now, by this point, we need to start going back and renaming things. Because we got a lot of things here we have not named. We need to name them. We're going to get confuzzled later on. We're not going to know what we're doing. Nobody wants to be confuzzled. So, main body profile was the sketch. What do you think we should call the extrusion? Come on, fam. Participate here. I already got my degrees in this stuff. I already know how to do this. They ain't doing this for me. What should we call this extrusion?
Main body.
Main body would be an intelligent choice. This sketch and extrusion are tied to the top hole. So we could call them
Top hole.
top hole. I really don't care what you call them. What I care about is you naming them something that's intelligent and going to be somewhat obvious after the fact. I'll call this the front hole. I'm going to do the same thing for the back side. I'm going to do another center point rectangle. This rectangle does not have the same dimensions. It's a little bit different. I'm going to use my calipers to measure the width and height of this connector piece. I'm getting about a 55 for the width. Maybe like a 17 for the height. And then the curves, I'm looking at those bad boys. Seems like they're probably around 3 still. Close enough, 3. So I want to do another fillet size of 3 again. Okay. And I can go cut out that hole. And I will use the hole depth gauge to figure out the depth. Looks like it's about 13 or so. And I'm going to rename these. We'll call this the back hole. I'm not done, but I've definitely gotten a lot done. Okay. One of the nice things about centering it is I didn't have to dimension any dimension saying where it was. I just had to dimension how big it was. And by locking its center to that origin, I saved a lot of time and having to, make measurements and all that stuff. So if there's symmetry, use it. There's not always symmetry. But if there is symmetry, use it to your best interest. All right. At this point, on the front, I gotta draw this little rectangle that goes into like a cavity on the connector piece. So I'm going to sketch inside here. I'm sketching inside there. And I'm going to draw a rectangle. Now this rectangle don't have really any rounded corners. I just need to measure the width and height of it. And I'm going to do that. We all have the same rectangle. I'm getting about a 40 width. Height's maybe 7. So we got 40 and 7. There it is. A little rectangle in there. And then I extrude it out. It does not come up all the way. You may notice that it does not come all the way to be flush with the surface of the wood. It's a little bit shorter. So, use your whole thing. I'm getting somewhere around 8, maybe a little bit shorter. Yeah, I'm going to go with 8. So you can see that it doesn't come up all the way. It's close, but it doesn't quite come up all the way. Questions? Okay. Folks, I need you all to kind of pay attention here because y'all got different shapes. So, you guys are going to have to draw your shapes here. How many of you have the dark blue? Well, guess what, fam? You're drawing circles. That's really easy. How many of you have the light blue minivan? Okay? So you guys, when you sketch in here, all right? When you guys sketch in here, there's this circle tool. We see this? Yes, say yeah? Mm-hmm. The drop-down arrow, though, has the ellipse. We see that? Mm-hmm. And you can draw an ellipse. You can plop your center along the center line. First point controls how wide it is one direction. Second point controls how wide it is the other direction. Make sense? Yes, say yeah?
Yeah.
Questions on ovals for the blue minivan folks? Okay. Who has the purple? Is that the triangle?
The diamond.
The diamond. Okay, diamond. So, line tool, we see it, yes, say yeah? Now here's your pro tip. You're going to use constraints to help you with this. So you're going to draw a diamond, start along this line, this horizontal line that runs through the middle. Go up, go back down to the line, go down, finish it off. Yeah? What's a property about a diamond, though? What can you say about the sides?
They're equal.
They're all the same. So right here, there's this constraint button. And if you click on the drop down arrow, there's all of these constraints, one of which is the equal constraint. Sound good? Yes or yeah? And if I click on that, I can click on this one and this one. Nope, now they're equal. Click on this one, equal. Click on this one, equal. They're all the same size now. What does this mean? Watch what happens if I click this. It's a diamond, right? It maintains that symmetry. We're good? Yeah. All right. That was the purple. Orange is triangles. Who's got the orange car? Anybody got the orange car? That's triangles, right?
Yes, sir.
So you can use the line tool, and you can just draw a triangle. But I would draw the horizontal part first, okay? Because when you draw it, notice if I hold it mostly horizontal, you see that automatic constraint applied, you know? And then you just use the equal sign to make it an equilateral triangle. Equal, 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 equal. We good?
Yeah.
And now it's an equilateral triangle. We're good?
Yeah.
I need you to get one shape drawn, just one. You don't need to draw both of them, just draw the one. Okay, just draw the one. For better or worse, mine's a circle. Which is the easiest one, I guess, to draw. You can use your calipers to get dimensions. So my hole has a diameter of 13. I only need one more dimension. I need to dimension how far it is from the edge. Sound good? Yes, say yeah? Now, realistically, you're not probably going to be able to measure how far the center of the circle is anything because that's in the middle of space. But what you can do is you can measure how far like an edge is. Right? So again, about 4. So I'm going to dimension from here to here 4. Get your shape drawn. You need to get your shape drawn before we move on to the next step. I understand some shapes are a little more complicated, but I think I've shown you how to draw all of them. Who's got the green truck? Green truck, anybody? Nobody has a green truck? Oh, you do? So just this is a square, right?
Yeah.
That's the easiest, actually. That's easier than a circle. I would use a center rectangle, right? Center point rectangle. Moving on soon. All right, we'll check the weather. How about that? Still saying 7.6 inches here. Yeah, they're going to be single digit temperature. It's cold. Cold, boys. Okay. We have our shapes drawn, maybe, possibly? Okay, well, that's what the stream's for. If you're not, you can always go back and watch it later. All right, we're going to use the mirror feature. Or tool, rather. Right? Like, why not, right? Like, why do all that again? So here's the mirror tool. We see it? Yes, so yeah, we see the mirror thing? So I'm going to click on it. And then it says select a mirror line. It's a little blue tooltip. Well, the mirror line, I'm just going to select this plane right here. Sound good? Yeah? That splits the car in half. And then it says select it needs to be mirrored. And I just click on my shape. If you did a diamond, you might have to click on each of the 4 lines. If you did a triangle, you might need to click on each of the 3 lines. But yeah, should be pretty easy. and then you can click the green check mark. You're done. We good? Maybe, possibly? Well, you can go extrude it. These might be almost flush with the, almost, not quite. There it is, boys. Yeah, dude, weather not looking good, boys. We're gonna have a temperature supposed to range between 4 and 9 degrees today, 3 and 11 degrees tomorrow. Ooh, 11. Ooh, might get a double digit. Wild. Hey, don't do that. What's up, man? How you doing, bro? Hold the bring your thing up here. Last thing I'm gonna do is show you all how to change your color. If you want to do that, and then we'll be done with this part. Well, there's another thing we can do, actually, but we're not gonna do it today. We're not. Well, we'll see. Okay. Well, you have the width and height dimensions, but you didn't dimension the whole. And you haven't dimensioned the I can click on this. I can move it, right? You have to dimension where it's located. You understand what I'm saying? So you need to do that. So I mean, when I try to, well, I mean, you click on dimensions, click on this edge, maybe, yeah. And you try to click on this, and it didn't work. That's because it's not a circle, so. So it does recognize tangent points, so you can place something there, if you see that. And then you can dimension to that. I didn't have to do it with the circle. So. There, you're good. I guess I can show it on the stream. Make sure you label these things. I'm going to call this the rectangle. Because that's what it was. And then I got the circles. One thing I want to show, if you had an issue doing this dimension right here, one thing that you can do is you can place a point anywhere. And so if I click on this point, I could actually place a point right here on my circle. And now I got a point there, see that?
Mm-hmm.
And then I can go and dimension that distance between those points. Sound good? Maybe possibly?
Yeah.
You can draw a direct point. In either case, end up the same thing. All right, if you want to change the color of your thing, remember you can right click on the part down here and choose Edit Appearance. And you can pick whatever color you want. Okay. Well, that's it for today.